tapioca, a Brazilian standard and very diverse. It's a type of flour and is often used as a thickener. It's great for gluten-free eating, and that's where we'll start this video. In Brazil, this is called café da manhã, literally morning coffee, which is translated as breakfast. What you see here is Brazilian cheese bread, or pão de queijo. Remember, don't say pão, it's pão. Watch my recent channel update to find out why. We'll start our journey in Copacabana, one of the most well-known areas in Rio. Full of apartment buildings, hotels, Brazilian and foreign tourists, restaurants, and other things, there are so many things to do here. And the beach is never more than a few blocks away. This is the most well-known hotel in Copacabana, the Copacabana Palace. You can stop in for a meal or listen to some of the music that they regularly play outside. One of my favorite things to do here is relax at one of the small restaurants in front of the beach and drink a caipirinha, Brazil's most famous drink. These places often have live music. The Copacabana beach might not be the most beautiful in Brazil, but the energy here is amazing, similar to my home near the classic Jersey Shore. It's fun to sit down with friends, grab a drink, and enjoy the water. Leme is a wealthier neighborhood next to Copacabana, and it's hard to tell where one starts and where one ends. This neighborhood is another great option for people visiting Rio and want to stay close to the action. The dominating Hilton Hotel divides the two neighborhoods, and Leme is close to where Pão de Açúcar is. Remember, not pão, but pão. Let's go check it out. If you want to take an Uber or taxi to Pão de Açúcar, write in Bondinho do Pão de Açúcar. I'll write it in the description for you, so check there. The cable car is in two parts. The second part is when you arrive at the famous landmark. But during the first part, feel free to enjoy the spectacular views and grab some overpriced coffee. This funny looking thing is one of the most addicting foods you'll ever try, coxinha. On the outside, you bite into soft fried dough with a really unique flavor, and on the inside, a ball of chicken and cheese or something similar. Also, don't forget to try the most famous soda in Brazil, Guaraná. It's delicious, and this is coming from someone who doesn't even drink soda. In this part of the video, we're going to walk through some of Rio's neighborhoods. No, we're not going to any favelas, but we'll see some contrast between the rich and poor, something Rio is infamous for. We'll go through Botafogo, Flamengo, Gloria, Lapa, and the Centro. Once again, we're going to start in Copacabana. The main street we're starting from is Avenida Nossa Senhora de Copacabana, and the street that we're taking is Avenida Princesa Isabel. The last stop in Copacabana before we go through the tunnel to Botafogo is the Real Residence Hotel. Good to know about if you're renting a car. I drove into Rio from Sao Paulo, something I wouldn't recommend because you could end up lost in a favela. But if you're wondering, this is the drop-off point for the company Unidas. Botafogo is the first neighborhood outside of the tunnel. Botafogo is also one of Brazil's most popular soccer clubs, along with nearby Flamengo and Fluminense. Botafogo is a pretty nice and social neighborhood with restaurants and places to go, and I remembered during Carnival in 2022, there were bloquinhos here, or little parties. It could be a good option to stay in Rio due to its proximity to the coast. Botafogo also has great shopping, fantastic views of the Christ statue, and a beach with a tremendous view of Pão de Açúcar. This is the path to Flamengo Park and Flamengo Beach. The views here are breathtaking, and you can see the gigantic bridge which connects Rio and another city, Niterói. Flamengo is another neighborhood famous for its soccer team, just like Botafogo. Flamengo Park is very popular with locals on weekends, and there's a large pathway where you can walk along the beach. I chose to get off the path and enter the neighborhood just to see what it's like. If you come to Rio or Brazil in general, it's important to know about the soccer culture, or as it's known here, futebol. Botafogo, Flamengo, and Fluminense, located in nearby Laranjeiras, have crazy fan bases, but remember that they're all from Rio. They're all carioca, which is what a person from Rio is called. Of course, those aren't the only teams, just the ones in this area. Hey, so the hardest thing about being here for me personally is understanding what people are saying. So I can speak Portuguese pretty well. I can get my point across. Everywhere I go, it's not just here in Rio because they have a very distinct accent here. This is called shop or shopping. It's just the word for draft beer in Portuguese here. So saúde is what they say. Also, chin chin. Shop. Real good. Little Portuguese lesson. If you want another beer, you don't really say another please. You say one more please. But it's Portuguese, so you don't say one more, you say more one. So you should say mais uma, por favor, or mais uma, por favor. Mais is carioca from Rio. Mais. Mais is like the rest of Brazil. M-A-I-S. Mais uma, por favor. One more beer. Brazil, what they do when you sit down in a restaurant is they give you two plates. They give you a nice looking clean plate, and they give you another plate with your food on it, your meal that you ordered. The idea is basically to transfer your food from one plate to another. Why? I'm not sure, but that's okay. So when I was in Sao Paulo, I was eating feijoada maybe twice a week. Feijoada is basically like beans, meat, and it comes with rice and some other stuff. This right here is a feijoada ball, so it's called bolinho de feijoada. And initially I bit into it. It was pretty hard on the outside, but when I cut it open, it looks really good. Really, really good. Next, I made my way to Gloria. Remember, this is Rio. No matter what neighborhood you're in, there's likely always a party nearby. What you just saw was a bloquinho, or little party around carnival time. Those people were most likely practicing or getting ready for carnival, which at the time of this video is right around the corner. Gloria is poorer than the other neighborhoods we saw. It's not incredibly dangerous like any favela, but you should be careful here. When I arrived in Rio in February 2022, I stayed on this street for a week. In that time, I heard 3 stories of 3 stolen cell phones. Petty theft is more common than something like assault or any kind of violence, which you would find in other parts of Rio. Read the description for more information about the different zones in the city. As you enter Lapa, the nightlife area, be sure to watch where you step. During Carnival, I came across lots of puddles, especially at night. This was most likely because so many people were drunk and peeing on the sidewalk. This area is also a little sketchy, like Gloria, but once you pass the Carioca Aqueduct or Arco de Lapa, it becomes a bit more inviting. This is the area with a lot of bars and restaurants, and it really comes alive at night. It's definitely the place to be. You probably noticed that the city is deteriorating a little as we move north through the neighborhoods. Next, we're going to enter the center of the city. Another sketchy area with parts you might want to avoid, yet it's filled with so much history of Rio. We're only going to see some of it, like some classic Portuguese architecture, but read the description for more places to see. This is Confeitaria Colombo, a beautiful cafe in the center where you can stop and get some good coffee and other things too. It's one of many hidden gems in Rio. As a matter of fact, this video hasn't even scratched the surface of what to do here, so check the description for other points of interest, like what you see here. Museu de Manhã, the Museum of Tomorrow. To finish our trip around Rio, we're going to Parque Lage in the neighborhood of Jardim Botanico, or Botanic Gardens. It's time to visit a very special monument in a very special way. Parque Lage is special for a few reasons. You can visit the little palace with a restaurant inside, or you can wander around the gardens and find little artificial aquariums, or you can hike up to beautiful Corcovado.
Tenho esse mar todo pra olhar. Tenho as estrelas infinitas pra contar. Tenho do que Deus deu. Dia após o outro, foi o que Ele prometeu. Pode crer, não preciso de você.
So that last beach that you just saw was actually Ipanema. We didn't go there in the video, but it's a great place to watch the sunset. It was actually at the midpoint between Copacabana and Ipanema. Great place to watch the sunset. So read the description. I'll leave all the details there. Really fantastic. So right now I'm on the beach in Copacabana drinking agua de coco, coconut water. Delicious, hydrating, recommended. So in the video I mentioned that Copacabana was a great place, and it is. I really love it here. I love the atmosphere. But there's a few things you should know. So there are some homeless people in Copacabana. Don't think it's totally safe. Just be aware at all times if you come to Rio. There's a lot of people asking for food, asking for money on the streets. It's really no problem. Just be aware when you're in Brazil. Probably everywhere in Brazil, but Copacabana too. So guys, that's my video about Rio. I really hope you enjoyed it. Please hit like and subscribe. Helps out the channel a lot. I'm back on YouTube, and more videos are definitely coming, so I'll be in Brazil probably a while. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.